to the paint. The post injury was great. She was able to operate in isolation. So they're not sending a double team at her. She can feast.
Here's Benijah Laney Hamilton for three, rattles in and out. She can feast. And how frustrated was she in Washington against the Mystics? Fouled out of the game, and she just doesn't understand what the fouls were being called on her were.
And it's been frustrating her the last couple of games, just kind of in her head, where she can't play her game out there because of her size, the way she moves her body, just overthinking it.
That pass down the floor, saved there by Haley Jones, and she gets it to go off the glass.
That was a pretty move from Jones, just keeping the dribble alive. It was all the way to the other side as we see Fire ramp up this defense here.
And you talked before the game to me about how the Fire will run blitzes, pick up full court.
Yeah.
They are a very aggressive team defensively. And so far, it's been working for them. It worked for them against the Sky, too, on opening night as well.
It did. I mean, they caused Chicago to have two 8-second counts backcourt because they couldn't figure out where to go with the basketball. They were trapping the ball screens and they were just throwing it away. A couple of times down now in these possessions with the Liberty, they're trying to figure out where to go with the basketball. They're forcing turnovers.
That one was a forced turnover on the Liberty as Jones gets it inside and puts it up and in off the glass, and the lead is down to 2.
This is how Portland operates. They're fueled by their defense.
So I told you guys that don't judge Portland until after the first quarter of the season. The first quarter of the season is the first 11 games, and that's when you will have a nice, good sample size. But it's fair to Portland because it gives them time to learn this system. And it is a constraints-led approach system, okay? Key principles. And that's one of the things I wanted to highlight. So as if you guys can see in the cover photo, I listed Chris DeMarco's system on offense, and I listed a concise list of principles for a constraints-led approach for Alex Sarama's system with the Portland Fire, right? So I just wanted to get all of that out of the way so you can see it for yourself. And then during the game, what I'll do during the game is that I'll let you know what you're seeing, okay? Whether that's screens, what type of offense they're in, what type of defense, what type of cutting they're doing, all sorts of things. The bio behind the players, the coaches, history of the league, foresight, future, prophecy, all of those things like that. I'll be able to tell you everything because I want you to leave this stream going to bed with a more comprehensive understanding of what you were watching. So that's what this is about. So I wanted you to see their systems on offense. So you look to your right, the cover photo, Chris DeMarco's system on offense he runs, Alex Sarama's system for the Portland Fire. And so you can have a better understanding of what you're watching. And then during the game, I'll be able to break it down for you. They're at commercial right now, which is why I'm doing this. So, yeah. Still at commercial, so hold on. Hold on. They'll be back soon. They'll be back soon. All right, they're back. Let's go.
Lots of Liberty fans in Portland. Got the Sabrina connection with Oregon.
Yeah, we were cheering during the starting lineup.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Liberty deep out there.
Foul immediately called on Carlton as Stewie was posting her up.
All right, so I just want to break down for you what constraints-led approach is, CLA. This whole methodology, it gets rid of rigid systems, takes away these constraints, and it relies on a more fluid, non-pattern style of offense where the players read and react to what the defense is presenting to them in full time. So yes, read and react. But constraints-led approach is mainly how you train, right? It's how you prepare. It's how you train. And in the game, it's more free-flowing. It's more organic. It's unorthodox. And it's unpredictable. And sometimes coaches call it messy. But it's really controlled chaos, and it throws teams off because they're not used to this. They're used to structure. They're used to predictable, rigid offenses where they have all the answers for. So if you run the Princeton offense, well, we have answers for Princeton offense, right? So that's sort of what it is. The way they train you, completely unorthodox. Their male practice players are really trying to block your shots in practice. They're trying to force you to be comfortable in uncomfortability. So when you get into a game, this is all fresh for you. It's in terms of you just being comfortable. It's not anything new, and it throws the defense off, and it throws the team off in general on offense and defense because they're just not used to this. They'll shrink the court and make you run 5x5 full speed, game speed on a shrunken court. So when you get to the actual game, 94 feet, 50 feet wide, it's you just look exceptional, and it's throwing these other teams off. They want you to always look a step ahead. When you have to shoot contested shots, it's easy for you because at practice they're literally pressing you and trying to literally block your threes and mid-range shots. They're always trying to block your layups in practice, the male practice players. So when you get into these games, you're more comfortable making contested layups. They teach you how to make layups with the offhand on sort of the conventional side. So if you're on the left hand side of the rim with a layup, they don't want you to go with a left hand. They want you to go up with the right hand because it's the nearest to the rim. Same with the right. So they train you with 6 seconds. So you got 6 seconds to make a move. Right? But it's a 3 dribble limit, right? You see that? You see that's a constraints-led approach layup she did. You see she was on the left side and she went up with the right hand because it's nearest to the rim versus the left. And so what they give you 6 seconds and a three dribble limit. And that forces you to make a quick decision. So when you get into this game, everything is rapid. It's really fast. So it's so much to it. They pump in crowd noise when you train. When they practice, they pump in crowd noise so that your communication is so much better on game day, and you're not thrown off or anything. You're not intimidated because they pump in crowd noise at practice. It's all of these things. So you have a core mantra and macro decision: shoot when open, pass when someone else is open, drive when no one is open. High pace hunting, the primary objective in transition and early offense is to find an initial defensive breakdown. It's called a domino. Keep the dominoes falling. Once the defender is forced to rotate out of position, the offense focuses entirely on rapid, fluid ball movement to maintain an advantage until it yields a high value shot. Spacing and off-ball discipline, holding spots early. And opposite off-ball players must aggressively read the driving lanes, filling spaces early and move into the opposite side of the drive to provide emergency outlets and escape valves. Defenders is forced to rotate out of position. Once they're forced to rotate out of position, the offense must focus entirely on rapid, fluid ball movement to maintain that advantage until it yields a high-value shot. Cutting. Continuous active player movement requires all 5 players on the floor to remain completely in sync with the ball handler's eyes and momentum. Rapid handoffs or pass and flow actions, follow actions, middle or side pick and rolls designed to manipulate defensive positioning, off-ball screen aways to free up perimeter shooters. So just simple stuff like that. Players are restricted to starting a trigger within 3 seconds of the ball stalling or reaching a neutral state in the half court, preventing the defense from resetting, right? So quick triggers, 3 seconds. High value, 3 to 4 points in practice metrics, corner catch and shoot 3-pointers, shot drawing fouls, and wide open rim finishes. Mid-range jump shots are heavily discouraged and practically prohibited unless the shot clock is completely expiring. That's normally what they do in the NBA. The only time the Portland Fire will ever run a predetermined play is during an ATO type of situation or out of bounds situations or dead balls. So that's essentially what it is. So yeah, that's CLA, man. Constraints led approach. Now, no team has ever used CLA in women's basketball ever. Now, individually, you have women train with the CLA principles, methodology, like Kelsey Plum, okay, Skylar Diggins, Nafisa Collier, just to name a few. But not a team has ever used CLA. And the only teams that's used CLA are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Duke men's basketball team, a couple teams overseas. And they always are very successful. They always have great offenses, but that's once you figure out CLA. That's why I said don't judge Portland just yet. You want to wait and so once they start to get comfortable with CLA is like catching a football dipped in oil, covered in oil on a rainy day. Once they figured it out, because this is something no one has ever seen before in women's basketball. Individually, you faced women who train with the CLA approach, like Kelsey Plum, right? But you've never seen a team in women's basketball use CLA as a team. And that's the problem. So once they figure it out, you're going to see them win games that's going to blow your mind. It's like, damn, I thought Portland was going to be trash. No. This is something never before seen in women's basketball ever. Okay, so that's why I say hold off on your judgments for Portland and just wait until they figure it out. And that should be around 11 games, 11, 12 games. Right? Now, Chris DeMarco's system is pretty predictable. I broke down his system the other day when they played. It's Golden State Warriors. That's really all it is. And I would say the only unique thing that he does, to me personally, it's not unique, but he does it more than these other teams, is using pick and roll, using the guards for picks and having them to roll, or the wings and have them, well, really it's the guards, and have them to roll so that they're more accurate with spray and paint, paint and spray situations or kick out situations versus a big kicking and out, and a big is more inaccurate. But yeah, it's 5 out, right? It's floor spacing. It's a lot of threes. He don't really like you shooting mid-range shots unless you have to, right? And that's essentially what it is. Side to side swings, hunting paint touches, and preferably the kick out to shooters. So it's paint and spray. Paint and spray means drive into the paint, collapse the defense, kick out to the perimeter, which is what you see from the Phoenix Mercury, and I'll show you in this game. So it's what the Warriors run: ghost screens, split screens, pick and roll, really only to kick out, pulling up in transition, trail threes, flare screens, down screens. So that's essentially what cornering three screens. That's what it is. It's a lot of shooting threes and trying to score before you can set your defense in transition. All of that stuff. You see how she drove into the paint and then kicked out? That's what they want. That's called paint and spray. Get into the paint and then spray on the perimeter. So anyway, let's get back to the game. Jesus, man. All right.
And Johannes with the weak side board almost gets it up to Gardner. Should have kept dribbling up the floor.
Yeah.
But tried to hook up her teammate as Potch. No good on the three, and JJ with the board.
They just need to settle. Making that long pass is not going to be successful against the Fire because when they're running back in transition, they're on their P's and Q's. They're looking for the long pass because, again, this has been an issue for them. The sky leaked out. Camila Cardoso, she was running the floor every single time. You imagine that's what they harped on in practice to slow that down. So they're looking for it.
Great point. And they might not have size, height, but they have length on this team.
The long arms.
And going back to that play by Stewie, it's what we talked about on Sunday. It's what Sandy Brondelli used to say about JJ and Stewie and that gravitational pull into the lane. And that's a perfect example of what she was talking about. Here's Stewie, no good on that one.
And see, there's another shift though. And Stewie's looking for hers, I understand that. But if you have 3 defenders collapsing on her right away, get past cross court and get some ball movement.
Excellent mismatch with Van Loo, gets it out to late, thought about the three. Now, good from Luisa Geisel-Suter. Lead back down to 5. Fire shooting 37.6% from 3. JJ with the answer. And the lead back up to 8.
JJ's starting to heat up. And as I told you, expecting a big game for her. She's been steady in these first 2 games, but expecting for her to really be able to take advantage of the Fire. They don't have the size, they don't have the length. And here, playing around the perimeter, this is going to open up so much more for her when she gets into the paint. She just comes in, steps your feet, you sagging too far off. Jonquel Jones.
Yeah, let's not forget, Jonquel Jones shot 42% from 3 last season. Averaged just over 13.5 points and just over 8 rebounds. We're going to stay here with the Fire. And tonight, she's one of 3 Liberty players in double digits. Astier and Johannes with 13, and Jones with 11 after that last 3 ball. 11 seconds to shoot here. Barker. Out to Geisel-Suter, that time no good from the other wing. And the Liberty pushing pace with Astier. Inside to Stewie, but we're going to get a foul. That's on Carla Late. Her first foul, the team's 5th, and Stewie will be at the line for 2.
That's a nice pass up. Stewie had the mismatch. Carla Late was on her down in the post.
Hey, coming up at the our halftime highlight reel presented by Red Bull, plus tonight's timeless moment. And I'll give you a hint on that. Liberty would like to have another timeless moment like the one we have tonight at the end of this season.
Oh yeah, they would.
Brianna Stewart connects on both, and the Liberty have matched their largest lead in the game at 10 with 93 seconds left to go in the first half. Geisel-Suter, no good that time. Ball tipped around, hot potato style, and it's Lainey Hamilton.
I don't know if you saw, but JJ was really frustrated with the no call.
Astier off the window and good. And the foul on Carlton. No fear from Astier.
None at all. And she shouldn't have fear because the way she has been playing, I mean, the pass here and a nice cut from Astier keeps the ball up high. And we talked about this off camera coming into the game. She's a great finisher around the rim.
Yes.
Keeps the ball high, kisses it off the glass, stays on balance when she gets into the paint.
Just 5'10", but some of those drives against the Mystics amongst the trees, she had the perfect spin, and they were high off the glass.
Yes.
She wasn't using the square.
Yeah. Creates the perfect angle to get those shots off.
Yeah, so the defense that he likes to use, and I explained this the first game they played, I was explaining it in the preseason as well, is that they want to be very disruptive, extremely disruptive. Woman to woman, hands, disruptive, passing lanes, stripping at the ball, grabbing at the ball, diving all over the place, blowing you up, getting physical, blitzing, all sorts of things, right? You see how that is, hard closeouts. That's how it is. And this is why coaches call it messy. They call CLA messy. It's mainly because of the defense. It's just sort of like, it's total chaos. It's like a freaking tornado mixed with a monsoon, mixed with a freaking tornado, mixed with a blizzard, mixed with some tidal waves. It's wild because they're all over the place. Every now and again, you'll see some structure, like some matchup zones or something, but it's really just all over the place. It's total chaos. Total chaos. They'll pick you up 94 feet, face guarding you, stripping at the ball, trapping you, blitzing you, diving everywhere. They're just like all over the place. Like all over the place. So coaches call it messy. They call CLA messy, but it works. It absolutely works. Any team that's ever used CLA, they always had success. Always. So it's messy, but it's unconventional. And that's why some coaches don't like it, because they don't have an answer for it. See, coaches want traditional offenses, right? They want traditional offenses because they have answers for all of these offenses. I don't care what you run. Oh, yeah, we run the Princeton offense. Well, we have an answer for the Princeton offense, right? And so we have an answer for the pick and roll. We have answers for 4 out. We have answers for traditional 5 outs, right? Like that's sort of what it is. And they don't like unpredictability. They don't like unpredictability because they don't have any answer for it. And like that's the problem. So you sort of just figuring it out on the fly. A lot of read and react. They allow them to make adjustments on their own. They give freedom to the players to make adjustments on their own instead of the coach, and coach is always in their ear. Okay, and so that's what it is. So that's Emily Engstler. She was a top 5 pick for the Indiana Fever. Great player. And the Fever traded her, got rid of her so that they could tank for Caitlin Clark. So, yeah, there's that. All right, halftime. Let me get out of this. Let's go to Minnesota. Like I said, I'll be showing both of these games as much as I can. Not sure if they're at halftime yet. We'll see. We'll see.
Off 11 assists. So sharing the basketball. Copper and Howard will jump it up. Still up for grabs. Look at Winskins throwing the bows.
All right. Started out as a 2-3 high, still 2-3. Good defense. Remember, it's a matchup zone. That's what you're going to see. And you have to have a 2-3. And you would say, why run a 2-3 defense? Because it prevents penetration and it hurts them with kickouts, especially for corner threes. So the 4 out and 1 or 4 out, 5 out, which is what they do, Phoenix, they want Alyssa Thomas to drive into the paint and then kick out to the corner or to the wing for a 3. So this is why you have to do a matchup zone. They do a matchup zone 2-3. And they pressure her into a mistake. So they pressed her. She drove into the paint, but because they were in a 2-3, she had nowhere to go, right? And that's what it is. She's always looking to get into the paint and then to kick out, right? And that's what it is. So don't worry about her. Like, don't trap her. She's looking for you to collapse so she can kick out. Don't collapse. Make her go to the free throw line and earn it, because 2 is less than 3. 3 is greater than 2. You rather her get 2 than for her to kick out on the perimeter and get 3, right? And that's what it is. So they run Phoenix, they run a 4 out, 1 in, and they also do 5 out. That's what they do. They want to paint and spray. Get into the paint, kick out on the perimeter. That's what they want to do. Okay. And Minnesota runs a 5-out. They run a 5-out as well. So they're mainly 5-out, Minnesota. That's literally what they do. But they have two variations of 5-out. The problem is that because they lost Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard, you're most likely going to see them mainly just stick with a traditional 5-out, some heavy motion, and then they're going to wait for Nafisa Koya to get back, and then they can mix it up a little bit, and then they got to wait for Dorka Juhas to get back, and then they could run two different variations like they've been doing when they had Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard.
Picks up that foul, illegal pick. And it's just her first foul. She fouled out of the last game, but Linskins with a nice corner shot, but Bonner just sneaking in there for that offensive rebound. Short on that shot, Williams on the run. McBride over to the side, wanted it. Yeah, stop it, you gotta stop the guards. You gotta pick them up. Yeah, you gotta pick them up at half quarter at the top of the key. Nogic almost loses the handle. Linskins with the ball. Back door. DeWanna clever. She'll go to the line. Nice feed and fine by Linskins.
And so what you saw, matchup zone, they went to a 3-2 defense, high pressure at the perimeter because it's late. It's about to be halftime, under a minute, and they didn't want them to get a cheap, quick shot. And that's why they went there. So it forced her to cave in, drive to the perimeter, which is what you wanted. If you block it, that's great. If you strip her, that's great. And that's what it was. She was able to get to the free throw line. I would rather give you 2 than 3, and that's how it is, right? They were able to get the basketball back. They were hoping for a 2-for-1 type of situation, and that's what it is. So it forced them off of the perimeter into something quick. She drove, got fouled. They get the basketball back. So essentially, they were hoping for a clean 2-for-1 situation, but they still made out with a 2-for-1. A clean 2-for-1 is you not giving them anything. You get a stop on the other end, and you come back and get another score. So they had just scored Minnesota. They went to the other end, a 3-2 matchup zone, high pressure on the perimeter, forced them off of the perimeter into the paint, hoping that you can get a stop so you can get a clean 2-for-1. But what they did is that they just got a 2-for-1, like you just saw right now. So they got a 2-for-1. It just wasn't clean because they didn't get that stop, right? So pick her up, pressure her. She's looking for a paint and spray situation. What you're seeing is a 1-3-1 with woman-to-woman principles. Okay, that provides balance, and that's what. So she was looking for a spray situation. It wasn't there. She couldn't get it to DeWanna cutting to the rim. They probably should have ran a nice little back screen, which would have freed her up, but that's not what they did. So yeah, that's what it is. So you saw them switch to a 1-3-1 with Anastasia Kalou defending her, and it forced her in. She had nowhere to go because a 1-3-1 provides balance. Anastasia Kosu. So yeah, it provides balance, but that's what that was.
I play a little bit better.
Specifically, what do you guys want to correct and adjustments that'll be made here at half?
I think our defensive effort, they're getting too many easy looks at the basket. Also, their offensive rebounding, so we got to box out because we're best in transition.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
DB, we've come to the end of the second quarter. It's a 45-41 lead for Phoenix over Minnesota. Stay tuned now for the Banner Sports Medicine halftime report with Kate and Molly. You're watching Phoenix Mercury basketball presented by Valley Bet on Arizona's Family Sports.
Who do you think you are? Get 1.9% APR financing or a $2,500 customer bonus on a select new 2026 Tiguan.
Jerry West is one of the greatest ever played this game and one of the greatest GMs in history. You could see talent. Kobe and Shaq.
He made all my dreams come true.
Jerry allowed us to have confidence.
Nobody else deserves to be the logo.
I've selected NBA star Donovan Mitchell to become a coach, like Pat Riley or Mike or Rick Pitino.
Time to transform. We're going undercover at a coach's clinic. Yes, that's good.
What's your name?
Cujo, Lonnie Gage. Ron.
Peanut Waterloo.
That's the one.
Got the shape of the peanut, too.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Outback Steakhouse.
Come on, pal! That's Donovan Mitchell.
That PowerPoint right here?
This is the Undercovers.
Every mystery forms a complex web.
Monsters on loose!
All you can do is fight to keep the chaos from your door.
All right, let's look at some of these stats. Let me mute that. All right. So Phoenix, they have 2 players in double figures. Kalia Copper, DeWanna Bonner. That's pretty good. 13 points in 17 minutes, 12 points in 14 minutes. Alyssa Thomas doesn't look like she's going to get a triple-double. Natasha Mack, you want to see some blocks. I think she has a steal. Yeah, she got a steal and a block, so she's doing what she has to do. 100% perfect. Didn't get to the free throw line. So you would like to see her be more aggressive doing that. 2 offensive rebounds, 2 defensive rebounds. -1 plus minus, mainly probably because of the fouls. And she's not aggressive getting to the paint. So that's a problem. Yeah, Linskins is looking really good. 8 points in 7 minutes, 3 rebounds. That's pretty elite. That's a veteran overseas, plays for Team Belgium. Very good player. And yeah, this is sort of what it is. Nothing really impressive except for Linskins and Kalia and DeWanna. And I would say Natasha Mack is good too. I would just like to see her get to the free throw line more. When you see players getting to the free throw line, it means they're aggressive. They're being aggressive. Like, that's what you want to see. So, yeah, they're sort of balanced. Minnesota, a lot of good rebounding I'm seeing. But, yeah, 9 points, 8 points, 6, 5, 5. Yeah, only 1 block shot. That's bad. 3 total team steals. That's not good. When you're missing Nafisa Collier, you got to do other things. The assists have to be high. The steals, you got to come away with some nice steals. And you got to get to that free throw line when you're missing someone like Nafisa. And you're missing Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard. They're not there anymore. Dorka Juhas isn't playing just yet. So they got a lot of work to do. That means you got to do it on defense. You got to get extra possessions. Offensive glass, a lot of steals, getting out in transition, getting to the free throw line. Courtney Williams, 28%. Bad. She hasn't gotten to the free throw line either. So they got 11 turnovers already. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. So they're still at the half.
Wing 3 is good.
They're still at the half. Carla Lates, 11 points in 12 minutes. That's great. Louisa, 10 points in 13 minutes. That's great. Bridget Carlton has 4 steals. 4 steals, y'all. Elite. Emily Angsler has 3 blocks. Only attempted 1 shot, and that was that 3 we watched. Come on. Stupid app. Look at this app. I touch it and it just goes down like that. Ridiculous. Kamaya Small, 6 points. Haley Jones, 5 minutes, 4 points. So they need Sarah Ashley Barker to step up. She essentially played 12 minutes, only 3 points, 2 assists, not contributing on defense, 1 of 4. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, they definitely need Sarah to step up. Megan Gustafson isn't doing anything right now. Look at this app. This app is disgusting. Look at this app. Every time I touch it, it just goes down like that. It's disgusting. Pure trash. Pure trash. 1000% trash. All right. So let me get back.
X Factor!
Boy, shut up. I want to hear all that. X Factor. I don't care about that. Unless I'm at the game. I don't care about all that stuff.
It's a great problem to have.
Absolutely loaded is this roster. I'm trying to figure out, who's going to come off the bench, who's going to give you that second unit. We talked about when Ionescu comes out of the game, like how much intensity Pauline Astier is going to have in that second unit. Well, and then Phoenix might come off the bench as well.
Rebecca Allen could get kind of pushed down the bench a little bit. It all depends. Injuries happen all the time. You don't want injuries to happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But this team is so deep, and we talked about it constantly Sunday and also tonight as well. And it's showing through in the Liberty's fight against the Mystics and their fight here tonight.
And I think this might be a different team, a unique team that throughout the season, depending on matchups, you might see some different starting lineups
100%.
Throughout the year. I mean, what are they trying to exploit right away? They have so much length. They have plethora of ball handlers, great defenders. So if you want to go the small lineup, if you want to go huge, I think we're just going to see so many different looks, and that Coach DeMarco's already thinking in his head what he's going to do.
And already that the egos on this team were checked at the door. The big three Brianna Stewart and Jonquil Jones took less money the previous couple of years, just to be here and be a part of this team. As Brianna Stewart comes out of the second half and pushes Potch, and she hits the deck. Little aggressiveness to start the second half as Astier adds to her total. She now has 16.
I was like, what did she do?
Check that, 18 points for Astier. This little forearm shiver. I'm shocked that there wasn't a foul call.
There has not been a lot of fouls in this game.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you did not.
Hopefully I jinxed us. That's the plan.
Bridget Carlton starts off the second half same way she started off the first half, gets Portland's first bucket.
She's so fundamental. I mean, beautiful release on her shot. Just stay steady, poised the whole time.
Potch up on Stewie after getting pushed down. And Carlton was the first pick in the expansion draft, and the Toronto Tempo wanted her, the Canadian, the Canada native, but Portland came in and snagged her before anybody else could take her. And reaping the benefits so far in a game and a half is the Portland Fire. Liberty pushing pace. They were very successful when they did this in the first half. Astier can't get that one to go from the elbow.
She's taking 2 shots from the elbow. They're good shots. She's just stepping into them, Just haven't been able to get it to go, but both teams looking to score early in the shot clock.
Carlton off the window.
And that's what you're supposed to do when you have a baseline shot that close. You want to shoot it off the glass. Why? You stand a better chance of making it, and if you miss it, it's a short rebound.
Here's Lainey Hamilton in the corner. Mismatch on late. Got the height advantage, but couldn't get that shot to fall. Here's Exler. And she gets the friendly Moda Center roll. And the three goes, and the lead is back down to 2 once again.
We talked about it during our halftime segment, how many threes this team puts up and how quickly the three ball can change this game. And now being down 2, been looking for the outside shot. Geisel Zuter. Nice job. Terrific three-point shooter from outside.
And an offensive foul here. It's going to be on Jonquel Jones. As we take a look, we talked about the international flavor that this Portland Fire team has. You've got Australia, you've got Germany, you've got France, Canada. Axel, we mentioned from Queens, went to Christ the King, where Sue Bird went. So many basketball players out of Christ the King. Oh, Aaron pass there, hits off a Liberty defender. I believe it was Astier. Goes out of bounds. They'll stay here with Portland, 10 to shoot.
Well, it's interesting just looking at that full screen of just how global the WA is. They're expanding. Teams want to play in this league and looking at their home countries.
Oh, Bridget Carlton on a heater. And she gives the Fire the lead once again. And Don, you brought it up. The perimeter defense has to be tighter for the Liberty coming into tonight. The Liberty were number 1 in the WNBA for the first 2 games. 18% the opposition was shooting from 3, and tonight 10 of 22, 45% for the Fire.
Yeah, I was trying to tell y'all. Stop judging. You look at these freaking power rankings, and because these people don't know basketball, they don't know these women on these teams, if they're not the major names they're used to hearing. They don't know these systems these coaches are running. They don't understand personnel. And because of it, they have flawed power rankings. Just like last year, they had Golden State finishing at the bottom with the Mystics. And the Mystics were literally fighting for the 8th seed. Golden State made the playoffs. I told them, I said, Golden State, they're going to make the playoffs before the season ever started. Literally right after the draft, I made a video. I got receipts. I said, Washington will be fighting for that 8th or 7th seed. Turned out to be true. They would have made the playoffs if Brittany Sykes didn't request a trade. That's what it is. And if you know basketball and you know these coaches and you know their systems, you understand personnel, then you can have a more accurate prediction. You can have a more accurate power ranking. These people was like, oh, Portland expansion team, the personnel doesn't look really impressive. Oh, dead last. Oh, Toronto, new expansion team, last. Oh, Washington, they're really young. Put them at the bottom. Oh, Chicago, they were bad last season. We kind of like to hate on Chicago anyway. Oh, bottom, just dumb stuff. And so all of these power rankings look stupid. Oh, Dallas, young team, new players, new coach. Oh, put them at the bottom. They don't understand basketball. These power rankings are flawed, super flawed. I told y'all, don't judge Portland until after the first quarter of the season. That's the first 11 games. Let them get comfortable with CLA and watch what happens.
lead with that three right before the break led to a timeout by Chris DeMarco. Tenacious defense here. Once again, Don, you brought that up about this Fire team. They're going to be all over you. That one, though, wide open for Astier, and she connects.
Because they're so aggressive on the defensive end, they got to choose, what are we going to give up? And they were swarming in the paint. Jonquil Jones got the ball, but kicked it out to find a wide open Astier.
That time the double came to late, and a wide open three for Geisel-Suter, and she connects.
I think Geisel-Suter is going to have a terrific year with Fire. She's a stretch big, can knock down the three, pick and pop on the screen and roll action.
Johannes finds Astier just inside the three-point line. That's a two. And seesawing back and forth are the Liberty and the Fire with the lead. New York back up by one.
How about Pauline being the lead scorer right now?
And that's a new career high for her, by the way. She's got 21. Late, tough jumper there. Might have gotten hit too. And she seesaws Portland back in ahead.
Absolutely tough. Pulling up on the veteran.
Oh, what a move by Johannes. Can't get it to go. And look at the smile. The Wizard. That's why she's called the Wizard.
What in the world? What the? Great pass, aggressiveness to shoot the three, and Pauline has 23 points here tonight. But what in the world? Just spin that.
Yeah, that's an adjustment layup, little up and under adjustment layup, which is what you want. And that's things Caitlin Clark can't do. She doesn't have that layup package. Caitlin Clark doesn't have a layup package. She has a basic left hand, a basic right hand, and a basic reverse layup. That's all she has. She doesn't have any slashy moves except for a basic slash, a basic dig. Every now and again she'll show it. And then every blue moon she might do a drive spin move. She's basic. She doesn't have floaters, teardrops, runners, adjustment layups. Like, her offensive game attacking the rim is pretty basic. And that's what it is. So you see someone like Maureen Johannes, and it just shows his levels to it. Maureen was doing this before Caitlin was even in college. You know, but yeah, a lot of people didn't care about women's basketball until Caitlin and Angel got into this league. And now they're seeing these women like, damn, they're so much better than Angel. They're so much better than Caitlin. You know, and some people are in regret. Like, they feel bad. Like, damn, I wish I would have been paying attention to this league a long time ago. But a lot of people were waiting on the rest of the world to pay attention. And then it was like, oh, okay, I guess it's okay to pay attention because everyone else is paying attention. So I guess I'll pay attention. Right? And so that's sort of what it is.
So Stewie, 23 minutes, 1 of 8 from the field, 4 points and 3 blocks. 3 big ones in the first half. If you missed them, I'm sorry. You're going to have to check out the highlights because they were monsters. There she is in the lane, and she gets fouled by Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls.
What a great reference.
I was waiting for that. I'm in my bag tonight.
Ooh, scared of you.
So Stewie goes to the free throw line. It'll be her 3rd and 4th attempts here. Sunday she had 23 against the Mystics, hits the first. Check out the New York Liberty's new 2026 Rebel Edition jersey, inspired by the strength and legacy of the Brooklyn Bridge. Available now at nylibертystore.com. I know when I go there for my first game, one of those is coming home with me.
Oh, absolutely. Like the color pop stripes, like just, that's such a swaggy.
What are the kids? Do the kids still say Fire, or am I behind the
Fire.
times? Is that all right?
Fire?
Am I
Yeah,
still good
that's
with
fire.
that?
You're
Okay.
still good with that.
All
Still
right.
good with that.
And they're playing the Fire tonight, so it
See,
tracks.
it worked. It worked. See what you did there.
4.5 minutes to go here in the third. Small off-balance three that almost goes down. And then a foul called. We're going to keep it here as Booner gets hit. 21-year-old rookie out of Germany. 17th pick in the 2026 draft by Portland. So she was the second ever draft pick by the Fire.
It's such an interesting thing about Booner too, because she was assigned to the team's development roster spot, and this is her second game.
And she can only play 12.
Yeah. Such an interesting thing. Getting an opportunity to show her stuff early in the season.
She also wore number 48 against the Sky, and she's wearing number 20 tonight.
That's a good note. Yeah. I still don't quite, I watched that full game and I still don't know why she's wearing 48.
Yeah, maybe because she was a developmental player. Maybe they didn't give her the number she wanted, but now that
maybe.
we'll have to
Some
dig
lore
into that
we need
one.
to, yeah, that's some lore we're gonna have to find out.
Liberty with a 3-point lead, just over 4 minutes to play here, 15 to shoot. Gardner, Stewie, MJ, Jonquel Jones, and Julie Van Loo. Oh, the bullet feed, but Van Loo ghosted MJ there. So a little miscommunication and another turnover for New York.
And Johannes is a great passer, but they're just too far of a pass, a bit unnecessary. You're up 3, you want to run your stuff. Again, one of those plays, I think Liberty do sometimes, like, let's win it all on one play, when you can just run your stuff and get a good shot.
Smalls gets stopped in the lane, and she travels there. Good defense by the Liberty, causing that turnover. Liberty with 12 turnovers on the game, leading to 18 Fire points. Fire in double digits, too. They have 10 turnovers, leading to 11 New York points. Every New York Liberty starter in double digits except Stewie with 6. Here's Gardner, bang!
Excellent ball movement.
Mike Breen, the check's in the mail.
Yeah. You better pay him for that.
Booner inside on the block, and she is fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line for 2. Liberty slowly building this lead back up to 6. They led by as many as 13.
Ball movement's been great. 17th assist on the night. And Gardner, who's shot ready, throws the perfect pass right in the pocket, shooting pocket, so she can get ready to let it release.
In rhythm.
In rhythm.
How key is it for a shooter to be in rhythm?
So key. And you think about throwing the ball where you have to get set, you have to move to adjust. There's some players that are good at that, that can thrive at that. I think Johannes is definitely one of them. She can set her feet. But like, as a shooter, there's no better feeling than getting the ball in the pocket and you're ready to go.
And to your point, Johannes, you said set her feet. Sometimes she has
They
no
not.
feet.
Right. I don't know, she's a wizard, so floating in the air with some of the shots going off.
Gardner, heat check, no good, but nice tap back by Stewie. Now the ball inside to Jonquel Jones. Great look by Van Loo.
Nice zip pass, and we talked about this on Sunday. That entry pass in the post has got to be quicker than Jonquel. As soon as she gets that slither of light to get the pass in there, it's got to go quick, and that was a perfect example of it.
Inside and a block by Stewie, but a foul called as she gets Gustafson. And Megan Gustafson will head to the free throw line.
Nice bat out from Stewie, and then pinpoint pass from Van Loo. As soon as the defense readjusted, they weren't able to recover. That pass has got to go into JJ, and she did just that.
7 offensive rebounds for New York, leading to 9 second chance points. Gustafson, good on the first. She had 10 points in the game against the Sky on Saturday. She was 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 on threes in 14 minutes. And tonight, Don Gustafson with just 3 points and 1 of 2 from the field, just 2 shots. She was a key piece on that Las Vegas Aces team. And a travel there on Astier. She doesn't agree with it, but she's not going to win that case in court. Ball back to Portland, just over 2.5 to go here in the third.
Yeah, I think clearly she took some steps, and they're going to have a defender on the ball handler, and she dragged that right pivot foot. But this is the problem Fire is going to give. It's the opposition, putting the defender on the ball handler, and then that trap up the sideline.
Astier got a hand in there on that three-point attempt by Enxler. Now Enxler with it back in the paint. Potch up with the left, high off glass, no good. And Stewie springs out Gardner. Astier hydroplane there. It was like skidding on the ice. Nice look inside from Astier to Gardner, and Gardner plants it.
Beautiful. 5-out offense, spacing the floor, and then Gardner. She does such a great job of reading the defense. As soon as you turn your back, she is cutting through the lane and trusting Astier to give it a pinpoint pass.
And that's that freedom of movement right there. Around the perimeter, that foul call.
Just a little bit of dribble into the paint to make a better passing lane. Couple of pass fakes to throw the defense off balance, but count on Gardner to constantly move without the basketball.
You talked before we came on the air how key she's been off the bench for this New York Liberty team.
Yeah, I mean, even on Sunday, we saw her come into the game in the fourth quarter, make big buckets, defend their best player. Like, she just lays it all out there on the line.
Late with the pink jumper, gets it to go, cuts the lead back down to 4. The Fire wanted that and won, but didn't get that continuation call. Here's Astier, thought about the 3, and another travel, another turnover here. Liberty up to 14. Fire with 10, both teams in double digits. Liberty led by as many as 13. The Fire enjoyed a 4-point edge in the first half. Gustafson with the high screen for late. She backs it back out to Carlton. Carlton working on Lainey Hamilton, gets inside. Nice footwork by Bridget Carlton, the Canadian. With a little bacon there on Lainey Hamilton.
Really nice move, and if you're a fan of this league, you know about Bridget Carlton and what she can do, fundamentally sound to find her shot.
Gardner is good from 3, the corner pop. And Rebecca Gardner with a timely bucket for New York.
Again, I mean, after them getting that gritty win on Sunday, she just stays so steady for them.
She knows her number may not be called in the starting lineup, but every time it's called, she's ready. And she's up to 8 points, and Astier with the steal. Gets it up to Stewie. Stewie, hard to the rack, puts it up and in over Gustafson. Stewart now with 8 points. And a timeout by Alex Sarama. Oh, and Carla Late down and in pain.
So it's either an ankle injury or she tore her Achilles tendon.
Word from Volvo. So the Liberty with a 7-point lead over the Portland Fire. 20.6 seconds to go here in the third quarter. As we take another look at what happened to Carla Late.
Oh my goodness.
And she grabs for her, looks like her right ankle.
And you know what's interesting about that? Those two players got tangled up, Pauline and Carla. but it looked like a non-contact injury on the leg. Like, it didn't look like they bumped legs or anything. It looked like she just landed on it the wrong way, and that is a scary moment.
Just hope that late is okay. We saw the Liberty deal with that in the second preseason game with Sabrina Ionescu in the third quarter against the Sun. Has missed the first 3 games of the season. Is with the team in Portland though, because why not? She did kind of own Oregon for a while. Gustafson pulls a 3. Oh, around and out for Gustafson. Liberty corralled the rebound, and Astier will just dribble it out. And the Liberty have a 7-point lead over the Fire as we head to the fourth quarter. A dandy in Portland will come to a conclusion next.
Everyone looking crazy. Misjudging Portland. And they haven't even completely grasped CLA yet. Crazy. And all it is just that people are lazy. All these people made these power rankings. I don't care whether you are an analyst. I don't care who you are. A YouTuber, someone on Twitter, social media, an analyst, a reporter, whatever, an athlete, just lazy. It's lazy, man. This is the cheapest crap I've ever seen. And all you had to do was just study. Study the systems, study the players, learn basketball, study the roster, and your power rankings will be a lot better. And you can do strength of schedule if you want, but they were just like, oh, Portland, new team, new coach, not a lot of talented players, dead last. Oh, Dallas, young team. This is before they saw the first game against Indiana. Oh, young team, new coach, oh, at the bottom. Oh, Chicago, got rid of injuries. Yeah, these are some talented players, but, you know, Chicago, oh, put them at the bottom. You know, this is what it is. Just the laziest power rankings ever. And it's because these people are lazy. They don't study. They don't know basketball because they don't want to know basketball, right? So they're stupid people. So when I look at these power rankings, I just see stupid people because I see a stupid ranking. Because you're too lazy to study basketball, to learn these coaches and their systems, to learn the personnel. And you can only be upset at yourself. Point to yourself and call yourself stupid and lazy. That's how I see it. I have no respect for people who make these power rankings or do these YouTube videos and they're dead wrong and they're always wrong. And the reason why they're always wrong is because they're lazy. I have no respect for you. None.
Good defense. AT reads it well. She's got Howard to beat. Bonner flies in. What a read by AT. 16 now for DB. Defense turning into offense for the Mercury. McBride trying to slip Nogic. Heck of a pass by McBride to the cutting Howard. 10 now for Howard.
That pick and roll has been very difficult for the Mercury to stop.
Linskins, and now Nogic. Nogic will go to the line.
Foul charge, number 11, Alicia
Hamzova with the foul.
First, maybe Nogic can kind of get things going and hit these free throws. And she said before the game, she said, I'm not over in Europe, the arenas are not this big. I'm a little nervous coming in here.
Heck yeah. Nogic, who comes into this game averaging 17.5 points per, scores her first point tonight via the free throw. In front of the whole crowd, coming in 8 for 10 over the 2 games from beyond the arc. Kate, a little bit more.
Oh, it was just so fun walking in with Yo-Yo. The way she saw this arena and how big, and like you said, it took her words that she said. She caught goosebumps. Really fun to see her embrace this level after being at 2 home openers for other teams. I think she was eager to see what this literally home crowd is all about.
That was special. I loved your walking interview with Yo-Yo. Yeah, she hit the court and she said, took her breath away. I love it, Kate. Thank you. Was it a travel? Timmons was hoping so, but instead, it's going to be a foul on Thomas.
First team foul in the last 2 minutes.
Her first of the last 2. 65-61, 146 left to go in the third. Williams, and she'll go to the line.
You know, 6'4", 6'5", you just can't foul in that situation. And Williams, so good at the mid-range jumper. Growing up, loved playing ball. Her dad said, look, you got to be able to hit that mid. And she's got the best in this league hitting that shot. And she gets fouled on it and gets herself to the free throw line.
Coming off such a great year, Courtney Williams. She was an all-star. Career highs in triples, steals, assists. And in the playoffs against Phoenix last year, averaged 19 points per. Gets 1 of 2. The lead is 3.
Not only one of the best rebounding guards in this league, but averaged over 6 assists.
She can just do so many things to hurt your Bonner. Turnover. Williams looking to push. A rare triple for Minnesota tonight. Delaire gets it, and that's big. She's got 8. We're tied.
Yeah, the international players for both these teams, unafraid.
Rashawn. 5 on the shot clock for Nogic. Wow.
Sure, cannot believe it.
Well, we're trying to figure out if there was a shot clock violation or a foul on AT. So it looks like Williams picks up that foul.
And to me, that's the incidental contact. I know it comes down on her shoulder, but
That's a flop. He's challenging that. That's a flop. That's a crazy flop. Let's get back to this Portland game. That is a crazy flop. Oh my gosh, look at who I just spotted. Look at who I just spotted. Is that Molly? Is that Molly behind the scores table, head coach of Arizona State? Is that Molly I'm looking at? Hold up. Let's stay here for a bit. Let's stay here for a bit.
Star presence. There's a good looking feed. And of course, Olivia Miles, who has taken the WNBA by storm. I understand that Miles has only played 1 game, but obviously she's shown her stuff. And when Fee gets back, and we want her back soon, this is a team that just gets exponentially better.
well, and you say Collier, hopefully she gets healthy. And you think of her off season with Unrivaled. She was Amanda Stewart, started that a couple years ago, and then also being so involved with the CBA.
So the last play under review in terms of a potential upgrade.
50% by Minnesota, 23 of 46. And the Mercury are shooting just under 39%, 20 of 52. They haven't hit any threes in this quarter.
After video review, cruising on the floor stands a loose ball foul charge number 10, Courtney Williams. However, a technical foul has been charged to number 25, Alyssa Thomas.
All right, so here's how it plays out, Eddie. Williams, the foul on her, that stands, but Alyssa Thomas has been given a technical.
So the foul by Williams was before getting hit.
Yes.
And then as she gets hit, instead of a flagrant, we're calling a technical.
KT with words with Kevin Fahey.
There's the foul there. And then
Oh, she chopped her in a jaw. She chopped her in a jaw.
Phoenix Mercury back in 2016 at the number 8 spot, and then traded to Connecticut. She only played 6 games here in Phoenix.
So Williams commits the foul and makes the free throw. It's 66-65 Minnesota. Just under 45 seconds left to go, and AT has a chance to go right back down the floor and give Phoenix the lead right back. First one's good.
A low-scoring game right now going into the fourth quarter, and again, Minnesota had the best record last year. Gave teams fits.
Strange sequence. But Phoenix, thanks to AT's free throws, up by 1. Howard battling into the hands of the loose ball. Bonner.
Jokic and AT staying on it though, keeping it alive for Bonner.
There's the pick from Brookshawn.
Got 3 players on you.
She was looking for a paint and spray. That's what she's doing, but they're playing a good zone, preventing her from kicking that out. Punish them. Punish them.
Look out!
That chick. I swear she's so predictable, but it's really just this offense that's making her so predictable. You know she's not a threat on offense, except a shot at the rim. She's not a threat, okay? And she's too predictable, and that's just what it is, you know? So now with Connecticut, it was a little bit different. With the Mercury, she's just too predictable. And she got exposed in the finals. And yeah, they paid back the Aces. That's because the Aces suck on defense, with on-ball defense on the perimeter. And Phoenix finally figured them out in the 4th game of the finals to just ISO them and take them off the dribble. That's after I made that video and sent it to them, but that's what they did. And so when they played the Aces, they just ISO'd them. They ISO'd them to death. And the Aces couldn't do anything about it because they suck on the perimeter with defense, except for Kennedy and Breonna Turner, right? So, but with these other teams, they don't suck on the perimeter. And so you can't just ISO them like that with a lot of success like you have with the Aces. And so what you want to do is that you want to drive into the paint and then kick the basketball out, because that's what you do with a 4 out and 1 or with a 5 out, with they're mixing in some of that 5 out stuff, and it's not working because they're not really collapsing on Alyssa Thomas. So she's just too predictable, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, man. And you won't really see the best of Nate Tibbetts until Alyssa Thomas is gone, when he has a point guard who is a threat from the perimeter and from the mid-range, right? Until he gets that type of point guard, they're predictable, period. Absolutely predictable. Oh my gosh, dog. These people are so lame to me. They keep coming up with these old, like doing these remakes of old cartoons, of old movies, and like come up with something new. Come up with something new that didn't exist in the 80s or the 70s or the 90s, right? Like come up with something new. They keep bringing back this old stuff, man. Crazy. All right, let's go.
A slim 5-point lead for the New York Liberty, 89-84, just under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth. Hey, join us at Barclays Center Thursday, May 21st from the New York Liberty. Take on the Golden State Valkyries. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/NYLiberty. Don, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. This one has been a back and forth battle, and Astier and Carlton have been going at it.
Getting buckets, knocking down some threes. I mean, Bridget Carlton has been fun.
So I got a video I'm gonna make tomorrow about the New York Liberty, and it's gonna blow some minds. It's gonna catch a lot of people off guard.
A Swiss Army knife for this Liberty team so far.
Yeah.
Smalls hits the free throw there to cut it to 4. And how about this? The 25-point career high for Carlton came against this New York Liberty team back on August 5th, 2020 in the bubble. Late gets into the lane.
Carla is so tough, and she's bouncing on that leg, that foot. She is so tough. That's leadership. She got to keep it warm. You twist your ankle, you got to keep it warm. Keep playing rapid. Take a painkiller, whatever you're supposed to take, and keep that thing warm.
To JJ, gets into the paint, does not get a foul call, and she is very frustrated. I count 3 times in the last 2 minutes that she has been looking at the officials, and rightfully so.
No, Carla Lade, you got to beat up Julie Van Lowe. Right? You're like an inch or 2 taller than Julie. Back her down. Julie is a terrible defender. Right? Now she'll probe, but she's a terrible on-ball defender. Back her down. Like, what are you doing? Now Megan got 1,000 post moves. Right? So she got 1,000. That's her peanut butter and jelly. And she went overseas to become a better perimeter shooter, and it become better off the dribble. But her peanut butter and jelly is low post, high post. She got 1,000 post moves.
This looks identical to what we saw Sunday.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but she has so many post moves, go-tos and counters. I told you, Stewie always does that. She's not putting up those shots to try to score. She's trying to draw a foul. And that's why her percentages has dropped over the last 4 or 5 years, because she's looking to try to draw a foul instead of just trying to actually score. And if you get fouled, you get fouled, right? So the referee wasn't going to give her that, because she's been doing that like the last 4 or 5 years.
Crowd is behind them. They're into this game, and it's all tied up.
Liberty players played a lot of minutes in that game on Sunday in Washington, then flew across the country.
All right, they're in a 2-3 woman-to-woman principle, called a screen, foul. You got to give her that. You have to call that shot. You got to call that foul. That's crazy.
About the minutes, there was 3 players playing 35 plus minutes in that game. The legs, they're having to use and dig deep in this one.
See that? See, she tried to get fouled. She tried to get fouled again. She made it, but she tried to get fouled again.
Time game.
And her conditioning is just top tier. She's in shape. She talks so much about her health, having her legs under her this season, and wanting to be out there on the floor when they need a bucket.
And she's got her second double-double of the year. Astier.
So these are good save. Good save. These are 2 terrible decisions by Carla Lake. Really 3 bad decisions by Carla Lake. So Carla got to get her mind right, man. Stay focused. Terrible decisions.
Fantastic players.
Now they're praising Rebecca Gardner, but they're not adding context. She's playing great because she played great in Athletes Unlimited. And any player who had a good season in Athletes Unlimited, it always carried over to the WNBA, and they've ended up having a very good season in the WNBA, and they never look back. Their career just took off. Emily Angsler, Lexi Hall, you name it, Maddie Segrist, they all just had great careers. Alicia Gray, you name it. It is what it is. If Natasha Mack recently, she won Defensive MVP. If you do good in Athletes Unlimited, it always carries over to the WNBA, and your career takes off, you get better, and you never go backwards. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. All right.
Moda Center is alive. They had 19,300 in their opener on Saturday, and they have packed the building once again for the Liberty whistle.
Oh, he called a timeout. He bailed out Carla Lake. Because that looked like that was about to be a foul. He bailed out Carla Lake, man. See, look at her. Watch this. That chick be trying to get fouled so hard. So hard, man. Sometimes she hurts herself. Yep. I don't know if I'm ready. All right. Let's just run back to Minnesota real quick. Let's see Minnesota real quick. Get back to this one. Hurry up.
Oh, wow. Well, they've called this tight all game long for the players. So Copper picks up their second team foul. Bonner back on the floor. Copper almost with the 3, foot on the line. Fuchs will take it. $76 apiece. Just under 6 to go. 5 on the shot clock now for Miles. Shake it, bake it, quick hands.
Damn, you got to hold on to that. That was a 5-out situation, complete ISO. Anastasia gave it up. She didn't ISO Alyssa Thomas. She should have just tried to back her down a little bit, maybe shoot a post fadeaway. Or a post drive and force Alyssa Thomas to grab her, swipe at the ball, and potentially get a foul. She was able to give it to Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles lost the basketball. So 5 out. You want to try to set up some screens, get some cutting going on, but that's not what she did. That was literally ISO ball. And that's cheap. That's real cheap. Real cheap. She was hoping that potentially Phoenix would be in a zone defense, and that's not what happened. She was hoping that maybe they would play drop coverage. That's not what happened. So when you play a 5-out defense, you want to make sure that you switch everything. You play woman to woman. You switch everything. You prevent and stop a lot of these reverses. And so that's just sort of what it is, man. But it's pretty simple, basic stuff. Or like I said, at times you can get into a zone, but it has to be a matchup zone. And that's not what happened. So they played woman to woman, which is what you're supposed to do. And they didn't give him any drop coverage and forced him into those issues. So this is when you have to have a good ISO game, good shot IQ. And Anastasia, what she should have done was that she should have backed her down and shot a mid-range, or shot a fadeaway. Or she should have went and did a post drive, drove to the basket, forced Alyssa Thomas to foul her, or just drive to the basket, pump fake, go up with a hook shot, or drop step, or up and under, or step through. And that's not what she did. So anyway, let's get back into that.
Bucket.
And Astier with 24 points. That's a career high for her. As she continues to start while Sabrina Ionescu is coming back from her ankle injury.
And how about 23 assists for delivery? Coach DeMarco said we want our identity to be that we are unselfish and being able to find our teammates, staying together. And you can see that with the assist numbers.
Yeah, and with teams coming into tonight, with teams playing at least 2 games, that's the way I did this. The Liberty were third in assists with 22.5 per game, and they were at 66.2% with assist percentage. That's third in the league coming into tonight. And as you just mentioned, Dom, 23 assists on 32 made field goals. And we were talking Sunday about Chris DeMarco and one of his buzzwords, the connectivity, and that is what really puts the hammer down with that word. Astier, extremely impressive here in her rookie season, stepping in to fill the enormous shoes, enormous Sabrina threes of Sabrina Ionescu. I saw Ellie's coming out with Sabrina threes. I saw that picture on Twitter.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that was
they might have got
what?
you. I don't know. I don't know about that.
But I kind of wanted a pair. So.
Yeah, but that sounds cool. You might have just pitched an idea here. I don't know.
There's Sabrina talking to Rebecca Allen, 2 players who will hopefully be back in uniform soon. As we have a bit of a delay here, as the officials are trying to sort through some confusion as we're waiting for Brianna Stewart to take some free throws. Stewie probably appreciates the lengthy break here. Getting a little breather. Take a look around the league tonight. We weren't the only show in town, or we're the only show in Portland, but Dallas loses at home to the Atlanta Dream by 5 and in the 4th quarter. Look at the tight one between the Mercury and the Lynx.
Ooh, some tight games here happening today. Look at the one we're calling here tonight, but how about Alicia Gray, 26 points to get them the win on the road.
Great start to the season for Gray and the Atlanta Dream. Bringing over Angel Reese, of course.
Yeah, had a double-double again today.
Dallas had their opening day win against the Indiana Fever, 107 to 104.
How fun was that game?
So Portland challenged that foul call, and it was a successful challenge. So Stewie will not be shooting a pair of free throws.
Great. Awesome. That's great news.
Tested on Sunday in our nation's capital against the upstart Mystics, and now After Portland fought hard against the Sky in their first game, they are standing toe-to-toe in the center of the ring with the New York Liberty.
Two, three, call a zone. Bad, Emily. Bad, Emily. Now that's a bad decision unless she was instructed to do that by Maureen Johannes. The defense wasn't set. She should have got downhill and got to the rim.
Lainey Hamilton gets into the paint, back out to Johannes with 6 to shoot. Has to put it up, and it's good!
That's what she does. That's what she does. That's also constraints-led approach, right? Unorthodox, out of the box. One leg, fading to her left with one leg. In traffic, highly contested, heavily contested. Serious.
Baseline, almost another takeaway by Stewie. The active hands again, wrestling for it on the ground. Enksler not happy as Enksler and Stewie again.
No, there's no way she made this shot. Yes, she did make it.
And I told y'all, she has always been better than Caitlin. She's always been more entertaining than Caitlin. She's always had everything better than Caitlin except rebounding. You're right, but no one was paying attention. Everyone was hating on the WNBA until it was popular to not hate on the WNBA. It's ridiculous. And she was held back by Sandy Brondello, just like Sandy was holding back Han's shoe.
Here's Johannes, top of the key, no good that time. We're tied up at 94. Just over a minute to play. You wanted a little excitement? On your Tuesday night, you've got it from Portland. It's actually Wednesday morning, as Lake can't get that to go.
Jesus Christ, Carla, you can't miss that. Oh, they didn't call a foul on that? He had to call a timeout. Carla, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, that was right there for you. That was right there for you. You can't miss that shot. You can't miss that shot, man. Like, ridiculous stuff, man. Just so we've seen in the fourth quarter these mistakes from Carla Lake. She came back from injury, and just these mistakes. I don't know if they gave her a painkiller. I don't know if they gave her, what do they call that shot? Something that starts with a T. Did they shoot her ankle up with that thing? It's some type of something they shoot you up with. Did they give her a painkiller? Is that affecting something? I don't know. But she's been making some airhead decisions. You can't blow that layup. The game is on the line. You make that, there's pressure on New York. And if New York scores, then you got to figure it out as, like, you can't blow stuff like that. What are you doing?
If one more second ticked off the clock, that was an 8-second violation. So that was heads up by Chris DeMarco to call that timeout.
Absolutely had to. And she was upset. She was just sitting there, didn't throw the ball away because there were swarming defenders, about 4 defenders that met her at half court as well too. But it was almost an 8-second violation. And we saw what the Fire did to Chicago Sky on Saturday, forcing 2 of those backcourt violations. And so they're continuing to up the ante defensively.
Liberty with such a talented bench of assistant coaches too. Courtney Paris, Addie Walters, Will Sheehy, Andrew Wade, and Kristen Mann. I'm sure they had something to do with that as well. Ball gets inbounded to Maureen Johannes. 12 to shoot here as Jonquel Jones gets into the lane. Double teamed. And a foul called, and JJ will head to the free throw line here to shoot 2 with just under 43 to play.
And that's why you can't blow that layup. That's why you can't blow that layup. Just silly decisions by Carla Lake. Silly passes. They got intercepted. didn't make the right decision and passed out of it and turned the ball over when she should have backed down. Julie Van Lowe blew a wide open layup. It's just some silly stuff from her, man. Real silly stuff.
Liberty history and rebounds.
Yes, she did. It's a fifth in franchise history.
Okay, so now this is when constraints-led approach has, in this type of system, when they want to draw up a play, right? So finally we got to see Alex Sarama draw up a play. Let's hope it works. Let's hope Carla Lake doesn't screw him over. Let's hope Emily Angsler doesn't make another dunce decision. So, I mean, 2 games in a row, you got what, over 19,000 fans. And you had the game right there and you screwed it over. You know, grow up. And don't give me this BS about young. I'm not trying to hear it. Grow up. Over 19,000 fans, 2 home games in a row. And you screwed them over by doing dumb stuff. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like I know they can't wait to get Carly Samuelson back so they could have some more options, but Jesus, man. Stuff like that is frustrating. It's real frustrating.
Series on May 25th.
I would try to score quick.
Trips this season at the end of June and at the end of July. Now they have a 2-point lead. Carla Lake controlling with Geisel Suter. 10 seconds to shoot. JJ.
There you go. Right? Now that was a stupid play design he had, almost like an extended floppy screen. But it was a dumb play. It was a dumb play. It almost was an extended floppy screen. And it didn't turn in anything. And so she had to make something out of nothing. Yeah. Have Frida to try to clear the way, get out of the way, clear the way, get some space, ISO, take her off the dribble. And that's what happened. I'm happy she did that. You should have made your first layup and you'll be up 98-96.
Those Marvel characters down. They were 37-59, never qualified for the playoffs when out of the league after that 2002 season. But here they are, 24 years later.
Yeah, so they got to get Shug Sutton back and Carly Samuelson. And Shug Sutton would have made that layup. Shug Sutton got a nasty handle and she born with a clutch gene. And then Carly Samuelson is a very physical defender and she'll bust nasty threes on you. And she's a feisty physical defender with great hustle plays, a great 50-50 game. 4 phases to basketball: offense, defense, 50-50, transition. So yeah, let's go.
Now the leads on their respective WNBA benches. High drama at Lotus Center down.
And Coach DeMarco talked about Coach Sarama and how he has great energy on the other side, and that he knows it's going to be a battle. He said they're cool, but
they're familiar with each other, right? Alex Sarama was with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chris DeMarco was with the Warriors.
3-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Carlton.
They were running CLA with the Cavaliers, and he is doing the same thing the Warriors did. So,
probing, watching the motion.
Offensive
foul or 3-second call.
Maybe camping out in the lane. They've been holding in on that.
That's the 3-second violation.
yeah, you gotta wake up, man. Lessons learned. But that's a failure for her teammates and her coaches. They supposed to yell at her, get out, move. So that's on her, that's on the bench, And that's on her coaches.
Call it there. So Portland can hold for one. Game time. Do we have another overtime session coming our way?
No overtime. Kill it right now.
He's been hot all game. Takes the three and can't get it to go. What the
Yeah! Let's go! SA! Let's go, Sarah Ashley Barker. That's what I'm talking about. No overtime. We don't want any overtime. We don't want any overtime. That's what I'm talking about. Over 19,000 fans, 2 games, 2 home games in a row. We don't want overtime. And now everyone power rankings is going to look stupid. And I told you, stop judging these teams if you don't know these teams. If you don't know the systems. If you don't know the women. If you don't understand basketball, and stop being lazy and study basketball. Study the personnel. Study the coaches and their system, right? And then that's when you can have a more accurate power ranking. They use CLA constraints-led approach. It's something that's never been used with a team in women's basketball history, you guys. So once they get comfortable with it, the WNBA won't be able to handle it because they've never seen it before. They don't use it overseas in women's basketball. They don't use it in college. And they've never used it in the WNBA as a team. Okay? Anytime any team uses CLA, they have a winning season and they're always at the top in scoring. It's in the NBA with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's overseas with several men's teams. And they use it in college with Duke. Okay? It's never been done in the women's game. So you got to give Portland some time to learn the system. Once they learn the system, CLA is going to be like catching a football dipped in oil on a rainy day. You've never seen it before. So these teams won't know how to handle it. That's why I say relax. Give them 10 or 11 games before you make your judgments about Portland. But these people are so thirsty and greedy. You're always supposed to have your power rankings the first day. Like, no, relax, study. And you can have it the first day, but first study first. But that's not what they want to do. And so their power rankings are always wrong. It's just lazy stuff. So now what are you going to see? I think we might have been wrong about Portland. I think we might have been wrong about Dallas. We might have been wrong about Chicago. Blah, 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 blah. Just lazy, dog. Just lazy, thirsty, lazy people. Thirsty, lazy people. All right, let's go. I told people, as soon as I seen that they hired Alex Sarama, I said, I'm not judging Portland until the first quarter of the season. That's the first 11 games. I'm not judging them. I'm not saying anything about them until I see them the first 11 games. When they figure out CLA. When they become comfortable with CLA. It's an anomaly, you guys. It's an anomaly. They've never seen it before in women's basketball. How could you put them dead last? The system is greater than the talent, but he has the type of personnel that's really good for CLA, for starters. Now, so the system is greater than the talent. They're judging the talent because they don't know the system. And that's the problem. These people are sick, man. Sick. Ugh. Damn, that's game? Oh my gosh, what was the free? All right, so let's back out. All right, what was the score? We missed. Gotta go to bed. Minnesota got him. Minnesota got him. You're too predictable. You're too predictable. And I told y'all, Phoenix is too predictable. And their Achilles heel is Alyssa Thomas. She's too predictable for a 4-out-in-1 system. And she can't do anything in a 5-out. So what he does is Nate Tibbetts uses a 4-out-in-1 with also 5-out. He primary offense is 4-out-in-1. because Alyssa Thomas is so predictable, they figured them out, right? So only thing she can do, which is what part of the principles is, you want to attack the paint and then kick out to the perimeter. That's called paint and spray. Well, they know she's going to do that. And so all they got to do is do a 2-3 zone, a matchup zone, a 2-3 zone. That's it. Right? And don't collapse on her. They want you to collapse on Alyssa Thomas so she can kick to the corner or to the wing. Well, they're not collapsing. And if they do collapse, it's in a 2-3 zone. And so because she's not a threat on the perimeter and she's not a threat in the mid-range, okay, their offense becomes predictable. Right? So we can guard you with a 2-3. We can use a 2-3. We can use a 3-2 and play drop coverage. We can do a matchup zone. But preferably, we'll do a 2-3. There's nothing you can do about it because she sucks. We can do drop coverage on her all day because we know she can't make threes or mid-range shots. All she's waiting to do is drive into the paint and kick it. If she scores on us on the inside, so what? 3 is greater than 2. I would rather give up 2 than 3. So they got exposed in the finals with the aces. Becky said anytime she drive, grab the basketball, get a jump ball or grab it and rip it from her. So she's going to do a straight bulldoze drive or she's going to do a spin move. Okay? And that's what it was. And so she was too predictable. So I made a video and I said, I sent it to the Phoenix Mercury and I said, what you have to do is that you got to ISO the aces. You're going to run that 4 out. You got to ISO the aces because all of them are terrible with perimeter on-ball defense. I said you need to sit Alyssa Thomas and start Monique Okoa-Makani because it's going to make your offense more versatile. It's going to make you more of a threat and less predictable, right? And I said you also have someone the aces don't have an answer for, and that's Kalani Brown. And he didn't listen, except he listened with the freaking ISO because in game 4, they listened and started ISOing the aces. But by that time, it was too late. Right? The aces, he wouldn't get rid of Alyssa Thomas. He kept Alyssa Thomas in. He's an idiot. He kept playing Natasha Mack. And this is before Natasha Mack went to Athleta Unlimited and worked on her mid-range shot and her corner 3. So this is still a basic Natasha Mack. And so you're too predictable. You got Natasha Mack in there. The only thing she could do is score on the inside. Okay. And then you got Alyssa Thomas and they figured her out already. She's not a threat for your 4 out and 1 offense or your 5 out when you switch to a 5 out. He's stubborn. He's letting Alyssa Thomas run the team and he's an idiot. So what happened when he put Kalani Brown in the game? She played, 10 minutes or something and almost had a double-double? And he was asked after the game, do you regret not playing her? And he said, no. Like, you're dumb and stupid, right? You have someone the aces don't have an answer for, 6'7", 240. She could shoot the corner 3, she can make the mid-range shot, and she could operate in the high and low post. They don't have an answer for her. They gave her 10 minutes or something. She almost got a double-double in 10 minutes, Kalani Brown, in that game. Idiots, right? So he's stubborn. He's egotistical. He's letting Alyssa Thomas run the team. And she's hurting them because she's too predictable. So that's why I said you haven't really seen the best of Nate Tibbetts until Alyssa Thomas is gone. Get rid of Alyssa Thomas and put a guard that is a threat from the perimeter in a mid-range game. And once you do that, that's when you'll see these teams not knowing how to defend your 4 out and 1. Okay? It's going to look pretty crazy. It's going to look like what you just saw again with Atlanta and Dallas. Everyone is a threat on the perimeter, so we got to play woman-to-woman, switch everything. Okay, we got to pressure you. We got to try to trap you. We got to do a 3-2, but you can blow by us with a 3-2. So let's just 3-2 with woman-to-woman principles. Man, really, let's just blow them up. Let's just play woman-to-woman defense, trap them, blitz them. And that's what you saw. So that's what would happen to Phoenix. That's what we can't play a 2-3 with you because you could burn us from the 3-point line on the wings, right? We can't play 3-2 with you because you can blow by us. We can't play drop coverage because Akor Makani could bust a 3 on it. So it's if you switch to a 5-out requires your players to be able to be ISO players, and you will have great ISO players with the threat of a step back, with the threat of a snatch back, with the threat of like that's what you're ready to do. And there is no threat from Alyssa Thomas. There is no threat from Natasha Mack. I mean, this is one of the reasons why he's really missing Catherine Westbeld. He needs to hurry up and get Martha Suarez going. But yeah, it's just dumb stuff, man. It's just stupid stuff. And sometimes you got to go out of your system and get more traditional. So you don't let someone like Kalani Brown go. When you realize, okay, the 4 out and 1 in isn't working. Let me put in 6'7", 240-pound Kalani Brown. Okay, you can't have everything. Well, I'm not going to put her in because on defense, they'll expose her, exploit that, and that'll be a mismatch. No, it won't. All you got to do is play zone defense. When Kalani Brown is in the game, switch to a zone defense. But on offense, you'll get wins because they don't have anyone who can guard her. They can't stop her, right? So Nate Tibbetts wanted it all. He wanted it all. I want to have someone who could switch on the wings and still guard the paint. So I'm putting in Natasha Mack. But Natasha Mack is a liability on offense. Kalani Brown is a true 2-level threat on offense, and she can hit the corner 3. They can't stop her. That's 6'7", 240. They can't stop her. Well, what about defense? Okay, you can't have everything. And if ever they get into their half-court offense, just play zone defense. You're trying to have everything. That is an immature coach. That is an immature coach. Totally immature coach. Callow coach. He didn't listen. He's stubborn. Take Alyssa Thomas out. She's too predictable. They figured her out. Give Akor Makani the majority of the minutes and have Kiana Williams to back her up. He didn't want to listen. He's an idiot, right? He's an idiot. And Minnesota has no business beating them, and Minnesota beat them. Why? Because Alyssa Thomas is too predictable. All she wants to do is paint and spray. Drive to the paint, kick it, kick out to the corner or to the wing. Let's play a 2-3, which prevents driving into the paint, right? It prevents drives, interior attacks, or we could play a 1-3-1, which provides better balance. And those are matchup zones. Let's switch from a 3-2 into a 2-3 into a 1-3-1, and at times we can do woman to woman. Or at times we can do a triangle in 2. Or at times we can do a box zone or a 1-2-2. Or X zone, which is a 2-1-2. These people, I swear, man, and we could play drop coverage because this chick can't bust a 3 or a mid-range shot. They're too predictable. You're too freaking predictable, y'all. That's why they lost, and now they're 1-2. That's why I said, listen, now things have changed when Akor Makani gets back, and hopefully he can get Martha Suarez going, but they should have never got rid of Laska. They should have never got rid of Lexi Held, right? They should have never got rid of Kalani Brown. You're just dealing with idiots, man. Just idiots. Idiots. Absolute idiots. Okay? And so it's the dumb stuff they're bringing over from the NBA. Why do you think that idiot just lost tonight, Chris DeMarco? The NBA can barely handle the Cleveland Cavaliers because of constraints-led approach when Alex Sarama was there. Okay? So what, in your mind, you thought you were going to be able to handle him in the WNBA when his team is figuring out CLA? Right? So watch this. Watch this. Hold up. Watch this. Let me go to... Oh, you freaking idiot. Okay. Let's go to Cleveland Cavaliers CLA under Alex Sarama. Watch this, y'all. Alex Sarama, a British basketball coach, served as assistant coach and director of player development for the Cleveland Cavaliers during the 2024 to the 2026 period. During his tenure under head coach Kenny Atkinson, Sarama focused on applying modern skill acquisition principles, particularly the constraints-led approach, CLA, to the Cavaliers' player development systems, right? So we can go through the philosophies. I explain all of that to you, right? Under Alex Sarama, the Cleveland Cavaliers adopted constraints-led framework to enhance player development. His methods focused on embedding realistic game constraints into training, fostering adaptable decision-making, capable athletes, and integrating evidence-based modern skill acquisition principles into NBA practice routines. The program reflected a cutting-edge, research-informed approach to elite performance coaching, right? Now watch this. Check this out. What was the team's record during his time with the Cavs? And didn't the Cavs lead the NBA in scoring? Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Any team that's used CLA, they've always been a great team. They've always been at the top in scoring and very difficult to beat. So watch this. Check this out. All right. Look, under Alex Sarama, the Cavaliers finished 64-18, securing the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. 2025-2026, Cavaliers finished 52-30, placing 4th in the Eastern Conference, with the playoffs still in progress during the time of reporting. So that's like now. Yeah, combining both regular seasons, 116-48. The team scoring performance, the sources reviews Sarama's impact on player development. No. I just want you to give me. No. We're not doing that. No. The Cavs led the NBA in total points. Oh, excuse me. Let me do points per game. And points per game during his tenure. Okay, let's go. No. Oh, okay. So they say he ranked 4th. All right. So 2024-2025, Cleveland had one of the league's most efficient offenses. Did the Cavs lead the NBA? I got to do points per game. Because points per game during Alex Sarama's tenure with the team. I could have sworn I saw that. But even if they didn't, just being fourth in scoring and securing the best record in the Eastern Conference, let you know what it is. I told you, right? So freaking Bean doesn't know what it's talking about. I told you, yes. During the 2024-2025 season, his primary tenure with the team, the Cleveland Cavaliers led the NBA in points per game. Alex Sarama joined the Cavs in 2024 as Director of Player Development and became an assistant coach for the 2025-2026 season before leaving mid to post regular season for a WNBA head coaching job. So when he left, the Cleveland Cavaliers fell off. They fell off. Now they still ended up with a good record, 52-30, but they fell off when he left. All right. In 2024-2025 regular season, the Cavs finished 64-18, number one seed in the East, and averaged a league-leading 121.9 points per game. This edged out the Memphis Grizzlies and Denver Nuggets. They also ranked highly in offensive rating and other efficiency metrics that year. Right? What are we talking about, man? I told y'all. So these people with these stupid power rankings, y'all, and it's all because they don't know this man's system. The system is greater than the parts, or the sum is greater than the parts. The system is greater than the talent. Now, he has enough talent to get it done. The system is so great that it compensates for any weaknesses, right? And so they don't understand this. These people, they don't understand it. These people are just crazy people, y'all. These people are crazy. They don't get it. And so they're out here running their mouths with these stupid power rankings. They're looking at the roster and they're like, oh, that's a new coach. I don't know anything about him. I knew he was an assistant in NBA. I don't know what he ran. I don't know anything about his system. I'm looking at the players. They don't look too impressive to me. So let me just put them at the bottom. Lazy people, y'all. Lazy people. And so that's why what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? When they hired him, I said, I'm not judging Portland. I see the expansion draft. I'm not judging Portland. I know these players, okay? And I'm not going to judge Portland until after the first 11 games, because I'm going to give them time to figure out CLA. It's never been done before in women's basketball with a team. Now, individually, we've seen players train with CLA, but we never seen it used as a team in women's basketball, not overseas, not in college, not in the WNBA. So when you're faced with an anomaly, something you've never had to defend, something you've never had to try to score against, when you're faced with that for the first time, it's new. It's going to be slippery for you. And when Portland begins to master it, and there's no way you could figure something that you don't really have an answer for, because it's not a traditional offense or anything traditional in defense, you're probably going to be losing some of these games, right? So, it's lazy stuff. And now they beat the team with the third best roster in the league. So Dallas lost tonight. The number one roster in the league is Chicago, Dallas, then New York. Dallas lost because their superstar Paige Beckers didn't show up. Trash. Alana Smith didn't show up. Trash. Their head coach got out coached. He made terrible decisions with rotation, substitution package, minute allocation, adjustments. He was piss poor. And Paige Beckers took the night off, just like Alana Smith. Trash. That's why they lost. But it was still competitive, going up against a top 5 roster like the Atlanta Dream. Jose Fernandez got out coached and his superstar was trash. That's the reality of it. Okay, New York, top 3 roster in the WNBA, got beat by Portland. Why? Because they were facing something they've never seen before. But Chris DeMarco has seen it. He was literally just an assistant with the Warriors going up against Cleveland whenever they played Cleveland. He went against CLA, okay? And he wasn't very successful going up against CLA. So he's familiar with Alex. He couldn't figure it out then. He can't figure it out now. And like, that's what you saw. That's what you saw. And it's more impressive, Portland, because they're missing two of their key pieces, Suge Sutton and Carly Samuelson. So the fact that they're missing two key pieces, and you can say, well, New York is missing Sabrina Ionescu. I don't care. That team without Sabrina Ionescu is still a top 5 roster. When they get Sabrina back, they're a top 3 roster, like they already are. And then Leonie Thiebisch get back, definitely a top 3 roster. But the fact that you got beat by a team from top to bottom isn't more impressive in terms of roster personnel than you are. But they are perfect for CLA. And that's the whole point. They're perfect for CLA, right? Now just think, the roster is going to get even better next year. So Portland is going to just end up burning these teams down. And then you're going to see other teams try to adopt the CLA methodology. That's what it is, y'all, right? So you have these silly coaches bringing this stupid NBA stuff over to the WNBA. Bringing this stupid NBA crap over to the WNBA. And the one thing they could never figure out was CLA, right? So Alex is ahead. He's ahead of the curve. He's ahead of the curve, period. And, you know, teams who aren't using that BS garbage from the NBA, like what we just witnessed with Portland, teams who aren't using that stupid stuff, those teams being more unique. I don't care if it's traditional. I don't care if it's P&Rs, heavy P&Rs. I don't care what it is, right? If you're doing something complex and sophisticated and you're incorporating all 3 phases and you do slow things down and there's ball movement, there's cutting and there's screening and there's a low post game and there's a high post game and there's a mid-range game, right? And you're playing zone and you're playing hybrid zones and woman to woman, right? And you're calling a lot of different plays and different actions, right? That matters versus you saying skip mid-range shooting. Let's just keep pushing in transition and all of this, shoot a bunch of threes and all of this BS. You're in trouble. Or let's play woman to woman, switch everything. Every now and again, we'll do a matchup zone. You're in trouble. Versus a team that wants to be sophisticated and complex and incorporate all 3 levels on offense while also being complex and sophisticated on defense. You're in massive trouble, especially if this roster is a complete roster. You're in trouble, right? So the reason why the NBA suck is because there's no fundamentals, really. They eliminated really 2 levels, the first and the second level, because the first level, they only want layups and dunks. Lobs, layups, dunks. They don't really care about the low post game. They don't care about the high post game. They don't care about the mid-range game. So it's threes and layups or dunks. Threes, layups, and dunks. Attacking in transition before they could set up their defense. Kickouts, kickouts, kickouts. Paint and spray. Trail threes, flare screens, flare screens, ghost screens, split screens. Corner and three, right? Stagger screens. Like, that's what it is. Want man-to-man, switch everything. Man-to-man, switch everything. Every blue, black moon, you might see someone run a zone defense. That's the NBA. And the only thing that was an anomaly was CLA, and that's why the Cavs stood out, right? Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder stood out because they were incorporating the mid-range game. Like Indiana was using some mid-range, but Oklahoma was using the mid-range that was unique and different. They were using 3 levels. You understand? But that's sort of, so you're bringing garbage to the WNBA with this paint and spray, 63s in a game, screw the second level, layups and threes, woman to woman, flirting with some matchup zones. It's just the dumbest thing in the world. And that's what you're bringing to the league. And now you're bringing to the league all of these fouls this ticky-tack crap that's in the NBA is stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world, y'all. That's why people lost interest in the NBA, right? And so then the women in college, they're adopting this stuff. They're not developed, which is why the Upshot League is so important. And this is another reason why the league is going overseas, getting women who are more skilled. They're just not used to this level of athleticism and competition, but they're more skilled than these women coming out of college. Also, the league is trying to have a shadow global league. There's over 50 foreign players in the league right now. They're trying to have a shadow foreign league without actually having to put a franchise overseas. The only one we got it's not overseas, but is Canada. So like, it's crazy. So then we'll end up getting product degradation because of talent dilution and because of coaches who have adopted systems from the NBA, which is killing the NBA. And the only reason why the NBA has saw a bounce back in interest is because of NBC. The way the games are broadcast. The nostalgia of it. Literally, NBC helped the NBA out with ratings. But it's the same piss poor product that's turning people off. Traveling with all of these gather steps, double and triple step backs. I literally just saw a highlight of Luka Doncic. This dude stepped 4 times and they let him get away with it because they said it was a gather step. This dude picked up this dribble, 1-2, 1-2. And they said it was a gather. 4 steps, right? So like, it's the dumbest thing. Like, why are you trying to bring that? And plus the ticky-tack calls. These people are stupid, man. And the NBA can get away with a lot of that dumb stuff because they dunk. They dunk. They catch lobs, y'all. The women don't dunk. Unless we're going to get something for Dominique or Kiki Area fan, these women don't dunk. Maybe a Wakior would dunk. They don't dunk. They don't catch lobs and boom on people. So although the NBA have no fundamentals, they eliminated really 2 levels of the game. They still can dunk. And they're the preferred gender. They're men. They're males. They're the preferred gender. You're not the preferred gender. You don't dunk. But yet you're trying to adopt everything that's killing the NBA. And you're not developing these women in college because these coaches run these stupid rigid systems and they're trying to adopt what's going on in the NBA too. So you're bringing in underdeveloped talent in the WNBA. You then have to put them on one of your development slots or kick them out of the league and then bring in a bunch of foreign players. They're more skilled, but they're not quite ready for this level of athleticism, right? But yet it's okay because they're skilled. But it's really okay because you're doing 2 things at once. You're accomplishing 2 things at once. We're bringing in more skilled players because these women in college aren't skilled enough. But we're also running a shadow global league without having to put a team in France, without having to put a team in Spain, by bringing over all of these foreign players. They have over 50 foreign players in the WNBA. So it's global now without having the team overseas. Right? So like, this is what it is. And I got to highlight and point this stuff out. So we're going to be dealing with product degradation, too many fouls, ticky-tack. That's a turnoff. You're now eliminating the second level. The defense isn't complex or sophisticated. The offenses you're all running the same thing. And the only anomaly is Alex Sarama from Portland. Or a team that's going to finally be more complex and sophisticated. And also traditional, because you can't get away from traditional on offense at times. Low post game, mid-range game. Not supposed to do that. Those would be the only anomalies. Everyone else will look the same with a bunch of foreign players or some players from college who have no fundamentals. They don't have any fundamentals. Oh, and by the way, you don't dunk. That's a problem. Talent dilution, Why? Because you're expanding. 15 teams, you're going to get to 18 teams. Talent dilution, product degradation equals disaster, equals decline, equals dissipation. That's the reality of it. And the only thing that could save women's basketball when that happens, you got to have some cultural celebrity icons in your league, okay? The television product, the production, the broadcast has to be elite. Your engagement in terms of social media has to be elite, okay? And like that's the way that thing has to go. But the men can get away with it because they can dunk. You don't dunk. It's just like the All-Star game. The men's All-Star game is pure trash, but at least it's somewhat consumable, right? You can consume it. You can digest it a little bit because they dunk. So it's a dunk contest and a three-point contest all in one game. The women, they don't dunk in their All-Star game. So they're shooting a bunch of 4.5 point shots and they're bricking 90% of them. So it's just a bunch of women running up and down the court doing cardio, bricking a bunch of 4.5 point shots, and they won't dunk. So it's trash. So you got to listen to me, like I've been telling these women for years. When Laura Ritchie left, everything went to hell with the All-Star game. You got to go back to what Laura Ritchie was doing, making it competitive from beginning to end. We don't goof off in these All-Star games. From tip off until the last buzzer blows, you are going to play this All-Star game like it's a real game, like it counts. Okay? None of this goofing off stuff. That's the way women have to play their All-Star games because they don't dunk. And they're missing these gimmicky 4-point shots. So because you're bricking these 4-pointers and you don't dunk, you can't be goofing off playing around. You're not the NBA. They can goof off and take 2 quarters off or 3 quarters off. You want to know why? Because they're dunking. They're freaking dunking. You're not dunking. Right? And then these goofy fans are freaking voting for women who aren't entertaining. So I've been saying this for years, y'all. The All-Star game, in women's basketball, you're supposed to vote for who's entertaining because it's a magic show. It's an exhibition. So you have to vote for Maureen Johannes. You will have to vote for Julie Van Lowe. You will have to vote for Dominique Malonga. You will have to vote for women who are fun to watch, entertainers. If you don't, then you're going to be stuck with stupid people like Asia Wilson, and no one cares about your mid-range shot in a freaking exhibition game when you're supposed to put on a magic show. You have trash handles, so we can't go, ooh, with your handles. You have a piss poor trash layup package, so you can't do jellies or anything. You don't dunk. We don't care about your dumb elbow jumper in an all-star game. It means nothing to us. You're voting in Breonna Jones. We don't care about your over-the-shoulder, back-to-the-basket move in an all-star game. Right? It's just the dumbest thing in the world. Why are you voting in these people who aren't entertainers? They're trash. Right? You know when you're a complete player, when you're a great player, when you're entertaining, when it's a real regulation game, competitive game, but when you're mind-blowing, when it's an all-star game, an exhibition game, that's when you know you really have it. Right? You see, Asia Wilson only looks good in a competitive regulation game. But in the exhibition game where you're supposed to put on a magic show, she's trash. See where this is going? You're voting in Alyssa Thomas, and this chick can't even shoot a mid-range shot. There's nothing. We don't care about, you getting a triple-double in an all-star game. We don't give a damn, chick. You're trash. The all-star game is meant for you to put on a magic show. And then in the fourth quarter, you're supposed to get serious. Right? So you're supposed to vote in entertaining women. It can't be like the NBA where you're voting for stars, popular players, because they all can dunk any damn way. If you can dunk and catch lobs, you're entertaining. Plus, all of these dudes got nasty handles pretty much. So, and they got a crazy layup package, most of them. So they don't, like, what are we talking about here, y'all? Like these people, these fans are stupid. The coaches are stupid. The journalists are stupid, right? And these women are airheads. They don't get it. So if you're not going to dunk and you dumb fans are going to keep voting for Alyssa Thomas and Breonna Jones and Asia Wilson like idiots, and you're going to be voting for Aaliyah Boston like idiots, she can't do a damn thing to entertain you. You're going to be doing stupid stuff like that. Okay, then guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to play real, for real deal basketball from beginning to end. It's got to be a real game, a regulation, competitive, real game from first quarter to the fourth quarter. Then Asia Wilson's elbow jumper looks great. Then Breonna Jones' back to the basket game looks great. Then Aaliyah Boston's post spin move looks great. Then Alyssa Thomas slash move looks great because it's a real game, just like we saw in 2024 when it was Team USA versus WNBA, whatever. And it was competitive from beginning to end. And that was the most fun we've seen since Lisa Borders' All-Star games, going back to 2015 and 2014. And that's when it was good. You have to play competitive, real, for real deal basketball from beginning to end in an all-star game, or you have nothing, because these fans are voting for popular players, and these popular players aren't entertainers. So these women are goofing off for 3 quarters and they don't dunk and they're bricking these 4-pointers. And somehow they think that's entertaining. Ridiculous. Read the dumbest thing in the world, y'all. The dumbest thing in the world. Anyway. Let me get up out of here. All praise be to my creator. Oh, Lord. I got to educate these people.